And you work your whole life. Run, 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 run. And you get to the end of your life and there's nothing. Because you end up being a rat in a wheel. Came out of college and I went through a couple jobs and I started buying and selling real estate. I grew up in the real estate business. Mom and dad were in the real estate business and I was good at it. And starting from nothing, by the time I was 26 years old, I had about $4 million worth of real estate. I was having so much fun. I didn't grow up in church and I met Jesus on the way up. You know, most people meet him on the way down. Most people, point of crisis is evangelism, right? Not me. I'm driving the Jaguar, everything's going good, but I can't get it to work in my head. And I went to a business conference and this guy said, you gotta have God in your life to succeed. And so we started going to church and I met God. I met him on the way up. 26 years old, our bank that we owed $1,200,000 to got sold to another bank. And they looked down, they said, a kid 26 years old owes us over $1 million. Let's limit this relationship, which is banker talk for ruin his life. And they called our notes. I had 6 months to come up with over $1 million. And the second largest lender, another bank, $800,000 owed to them, heard I was in trouble because I was in trouble. And they called another $800,000. So I had $2 million due. It's all tied up in real estate. Well, we spent the next 2.5 years of our life losing everything we owned. And finally, with a brand new baby and a toddler, we hit bottom. And we were bankrupt. I didn't know what to do. I was 28 years old. My marriage is hanging on by a thread. And finally, we were bankrupt. Brand new baby. I remember standing in the shower with it as hot as I could stand it in my face and just stand there and cry because I was so scared. And there was nobody to talk to because I was so ashamed to tell anybody what I had done. And I had started reading a guy named Larry Burkett when I was in the middle of the soup, a guy who teaches that the Bible talks about money principles. Now, I've got a finance degree, okay? I've got letters and licenses after my name. And so I found out the Bible has financial principles in it. And we started handling our money this way. And I gotta tell y'all something. It worked. Like 2,500 scriptures that deal with money and possessions. Our proper view of them, the proper spiritual indication, and the tactical, actual thing you do with money that God. It was amazing. And it gave a guy who was in a puddle hope. Because I surrender all moment. And we took these principles and everything I could learn about them and understand them from an academic viewpoint, a spiritual viewpoint, a biblical historical viewpoint, a socio-economic viewpoint, a psychological viewpoint, an emotional viewpoint, a relational viewpoint, and I started to really understand how money works. So we started applying these principles to our lives. You know what happens when your life gets changed? When you see someone's life gets changed, you always say their marriage gets saved, their children get turned around, their finances get turned around, their career goes on a trajectory that's unexplainable. How did you do that? How did you do that? When people started asking me, I started telling them. And then I started doing counseling at my church, and then we started a little Sunday school class that had 4 people in it, and I looked up and there were 400 people in there. My friend Zig Ziglar used to say, if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. John Maxwell says a budget is people telling their money what to do instead of wondering where it went. If you were going to build a $4 million house, you would have a blueprint. Every detail mapped out. Where the plugs are going to go, where the heat and air is going to go, how the roof structure is going to be. Everything is laid out before you break ground. If you apply these things, the cause and effect, the sowing and the reaping always happens. 100% of the time, and I will go ahead and tell you, these are tough, they're hard, they're easy to understand, they're hard to do, and if you're really smart, you're going to act like you don't need them. Smart people have the most trouble with this. That's why I was good at it. You have to have a budget. You have to write it down on paper, on purpose, before the month begins. Every dollar has a mission. Every dollar has a name. Not sort of, kind of in my head. Not it's on my iPhone app. Write it down. You have a blueprint. You have a plan. I run a company with hundreds and hundreds of team members. Multiple profit centers within the company. Every one of those folks has a plan for the revenue they're going to produce in this month, this quarter, and this year, and the expenses they're going to spend to do that in this month, this quarter, and this year. Thereby, we do annual projections. You got to get out of debt and stay out of debt. The borrower is slave to the lender. When you don't have any payments, you know what you got? Money. That was hard. Are we through yet? You getting this? It's not deep. But I wanna. Yeah, that's the problem. I wanna. I need nothing. But I want a lot of stuff. Marriage is grand. Divorce is 50 grand. Dysfunction in the family costs you money. Straight up. Crazy parents, drunk brothers. If you let them come into your boundaries and interfere in your household, their dysfunction will cause you dysfunction. Hello? Isn't this simple? Evil company corrupts good habits. Your household income, your personal income, over a period of time, not instantaneously, but over a period of time will be within 10 to 15% of the average income of your 10 closest friends. You don't let your kids hang out with juvenile delinquents. Why? Because they will become juvenile delinquents. So quality relationships changes everything. Who are you running with? You're going to become who you hang around with. And those affect your income. And those affect the outcome of your personal financial statement. Wise people save money. Wise people save money. It's not an act of faith to have nothing and hope the government's going to take care of you. It's not an act of faith. That's an act of silliness. You know, you have to have a plan. And we teach people to save for 3 basic things. The first thing you save for is for a rainy day. Grandma said it, right? What'd she say? She said, save for a rainy day. Visual aid. It's going to rain. Better get ready. It says 78% of you are going to have a major negative financial event in any given 10-year period of time. You're going to have a job layoff. You're going to have a car wreck. Something's going to happen. And you're going to need some money. $100 a month invested in a Roth IRA from age 30 to age 70 is $1,176,000. From age 30 to age 70, you retire a millionaire. There's no excuse to retire broke. We just spend it all. We don't have a plan. We don't save. We don't think about who we're hanging around with. We don't play these things in together.